Good afternoon and welcome to Stevens Life. This is the second in a series of shows produced in association with Stevens College and Columbia Access Television. This broadcast is the result of collaboration between the Schools of Interdisciplinary Studies and Organizational Leadership and Strategic Communication. Content has been provided by the staff of Stevens Life magazine, which will be available in print on December 10th. Read more frequent updates at stevens.edu/stevenslife. I'm Lesta Newberry.
And I'm Samantha Glady. Now to the news. Several assaults against college-age women were reported in November. A 19-year-old man was arrested on 3 accounts of assault related to incidents at the University of Missouri. At Stevens, campus security sent an email informing students that an intruder had been on campus and that he had allegedly approached many women. According to reports by these women to campus security, he approached them and asked several questions before just walking away. These awkward encounters left many women shaken up. The Department of Security said it would be on the lookout and encouraged the women of Stevens to be aware of their surroundings at all times. Now we go to Rudy Petrie with tips for students to stay safe on and off campus. Rudy?
Thanks, Samantha. In the wake of recent scares around campus, security has taken precautions to ensure the safety of students. Still, there are some guidelines so students can protect themselves. Number 1, never travel alone. Or if you should decide to travel alone, tell someone where you will be and what time you expect to return. Number 2, know your surroundings and the people you surround yourself with. Number 3, look confident. Number 4, keep your doors locked while driving. Number 5, carry pepper spray, but use it properly. Do not have it at the bottom of your purse or bag and always have it easily accessible, especially when traveling alone. And number 6, scream fire, not help. Most people ignore or become afraid when people yell for help because they do not want to be harmed themselves. These are just a few tips that can help keep your travel safer. MU also offers self-defense classes for women ages 11 and up called Rape Aggression Defense Systems. For more information on the cases or to sign up, visit the website of the MU Police Department at www.mupolice.com. Back to you, Samantha.
Thank you for that report, Rudy. I know I'll certainly keep those tips in mind when I'm walking around campus. What about you, Lesta? Have you ever seen any suspicious individuals around campus?
No, Samantha. I think the department is doing a great job with that. Still, they can't be everywhere at once, so we need to be vigilant and do what we can to help.
That's true. Changing directions a bit, we go from current students to prospective ones, with Danny Kelly telling us about the changes that occurred with this year's Scholars Weekend. Danny?
Yes, Samantha, there have been a number of changes instituted to this year's Scholars Weekend. Last year, enrollment numbers were low across the board, and only 43 prospective students who qualified for Scholars Weekend attended. This year, Suzanne Sharp, Vice President of Strategic Enrollment Management, and Tiffany Golder, Campus Visit Event Coordinator, worked for months to make Scholars Weekend the best it's ever been. In previous years, Scholars Weekend has been held after winter break, but this year's got bumped up to the beginning of November. Sharp and Golder felt it was important for Stevens to focus on recruiting bright students before they chose to attend another school. For students to be invited to Scholars Weekend, they must have applied and have been accepted to Stevens with a 3.5 cumulative GPA and a score of at least 25 on the ACT or 1700 on the SAT. Admissions office sent out 6 times the amount of Scholars Weekend invitation emails than they have in previous years, targeting high school students across the country that met those qualifications. According to Golder, the real challenge is getting prospective students to fill out and turn in their application packets. She and Sharp hope that a full tuition scholarship competition will encourage students to attend Stevens. Prospective students from across the country, 65 in all, attended Scholars Weekend this year to compete for 3 scholarships for full tuition. For some of these women, the scholarships could be the deciding factor, but for others, simply getting on campus will help them make their decision. On top of the competition, Stevens awarded each attendee an extra $1,000 to their current merit award just for visiting the campus and participating. Sharp said that it's a change to get used to the scholarships as a recruitment tool. In the past, prospective students have been surprised by the $1,000 boost. Sharp said that it's a missed opportunity and one they hope to address by being clearer about the financial benefits of the visit. A few other additions were also made to the weekend. On Friday evening, prospective students had the chance to talk with some Stevens alumni. They also attended student panel on Saturday morning where prospective students asked current students anything they wanted to know. The admissions office is taking a step in the right direction when it comes to recruiting, and admissions hopes the enrollment will grow because of it. Back to you, Samantha.
Thanks for that report, Danny. Lesta, did you attend any recruiting events? What convinced you to attend Stevens?
Well, sports is a recruitment tool. For a lot of women, like me, being able to continue playing a sport in college and receive scholarship money to do so is a big factor. So my decision largely involved that. What about you?
It was a number of different things, but events I attended, such as Scholars Weekend, were ultimately what convinced me. Another factor was the alumni network, which Danny mentioned in the story. Many of these women are truly groundbreaking.
I agree, and since our last broadcast, a historical election took place in which women made even greater strides. Jessica Langford has the details.
Thanks, Lesta. In the upcoming session of the United States Senate, more women than ever will take the oath of office. Following the elections on November 6th, the number of female senators rose from 17 to 20, the highest number in history. 9 of those 20 senators will not be up for re-election. Of the 5 newly elected, there were a number of firsts. One example is Mazie Hirono, a Democrat from Hawaii. Senator-elect Hirono will be serving as the first Asian American woman to hold a seat in the U.S. Senate. Wisconsin Democrat Tammy Baldwin will join the upper chamber as the first openly gay person to be elected to Senate. Nebraska's Deb Fisher, a Republican, was the first woman senator Nebraska has elected since 1954. North Dakota Democrat Heidi Heitkamp will serve as the Senate's first ever elected female. Elizabeth Warren, a Democrat from Massachusetts, became the state's first woman elected to the U.S. Senate after defeating incumbent Republican Scott Brown. The remaining 6 seats, accompanied by women, resulted from re-election. The House of Representatives will also have a large delegation of women in the upcoming session. Back to you, Lesta.
That's exciting, and it's a relief that voting went on without too much confusion in the wake of Hurricane Sandy.
Yes, aides seemed to find those in the areas most affected by the storm that made landfall early the morning of October 29th fairly quickly. And the state and local government of New York and New Jersey seemed to cooperate with the federal agencies to ensure that those displaced by the storm would still be able to vote. Though voting was probably the last things on the minds of those who were affected by the storm.
A Stevens student was actually there in her home in Brooklyn, and she was there during the storm. Shamel Robinson has her story.
Thanks, Lesta. It's true that many lost homes and belongings. Some lost loved ones and were themselves seriously injured when Hurricane Sandy made landfall on the mid-Atlantic coast in early morning of October 29th. The survivor of the storm, a Stevens student, shares details of the disaster and how the storm reminded her of the love she has for her home state and her appreciation for everyone who comes together to get through such devastation. Esley Vieira, a senior MPA major, visited her hometown of Brooklyn to celebrate her dad's 60th birthday. When Vieira first heard about the incoming storm, the storm itself was not her main concern. She said that she was more worried about getting a flight and making it back to school in time for classes. Fortunately, her family apartment was away from the water and was not hit as hard as many other areas in New York. However, Vieira and her family still heard the frightening gusts of winds, crackling of falling trees, and downpour. After the storm, the damages was everywhere. Vieira says she took notice of fallen trees, shattered windows, and damaged buildings. One of the most shocking things she saw was large boats that had impaled apartment buildings and houses. Vieira spent 4 years in New York after the storm, taking it all in and helping those in need. She said that while people think New York is always busy, the storm was something different. People couldn't move. After the storm, it was like everyone crawled out of their holes at once. Vieira reflected on her love and appreciation of her home. She said that it's interesting that the rest of the world sees New Yorkers as cold and standoffish, but that's not true at all, especially in items of crisis. She said that all come together, support each other, and lend a hand anywhere necessary. Back to you, Lesta.
Thanks, Shamel. More locally, Stevens has been trying to curb bike traffic over the newly renovated bridges that cross Broadway and College Avenue.
They've been trying to do that for years. The signs just don't seem to be enough. And bikers ride very quickly over these bridges, often ignoring requests by students and staff, as well as the posted signs that they get off their bikes and walk. We go to Angelica Clay for more.
Thanks, Samantha. The bridges over College Avenue and Broadway may be receiving several makeovers in the coming months with various bicycle barriers and signage. Before Thanksgiving break, students and faculty noticed large barriers were installed on the bridges, only to have them removed within a few hours. The goal is to find a way to hinder cyclists and bicyclists over the bridges without preventing pedestrians and wheelchair users. Stevens project manager Richard Perkins explained that there might be a good deal of trial and error before an effective solution. The installation of the barriers stirred a prompt response from campus, and Perkins' inbox filled quickly. The emails contained concern mostly about wheelchair users. There was a lot of positive feedback, with some thanking the school for addressing what many have been a big problem. There was no particular incident that instigated the construction of the chicanes, the technical term for the type of barrier used, but rather an extension of the bridge. The construction and the solution to a long-standing problem, the school is looking for a solution to make the bridges safer for pedestrians. According to Perkins, the goal is to create a more convenient while accommodating the safety of students. It's been an ongoing cause of concern. We are trying to reach a solution that's agreeable to everyone. Our number one concern is student safety. Now back to the news desk.
Thanks, Angelica. We now go to Samantha with an interview with a senior who will graduate in December.
Thanks, Lesta. I'm here with Cassie Raskin with a few questions for her plans after graduation. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And what are your plans for right after you graduate?
After I graduate, I plan on going back to St. Louis, where I'm from, spend some time with my family, kind of relax a little bit, have some downtime, and just kind of work and save up money until I really figure out what I want to do.
That's great. And during your time at Stevens, what's your favorite memory from the past 4 years?
It's really hard to pinpoint a certain memory just because my time here has been so special, but I would have to say just joining Greek life and being a part of my sorority Kappa Delta has really given me a lot of great opportunities that I wouldn't have had otherwise. So
that's great.
I'd say that.
Do you have any advice for seniors that are graduating in May?
I would have to say pick something you're very passionate about for your capstone, because you're going to be putting a lot of hard work into it and you want it to be the best you can make it. And I would also say don't sweat the small stuff and go out every chance you can with your friends and make those memories, because those are the things you'll remember.
Thank you so much for your time, Cassie, and good luck with finals week.
Thank you.
We now go to Shamel for the weather.
For your Thursday, the high temperature in Columbia will be 57 degrees. Kansas City will be mostly sunny with a high temperature of 59 degrees and south winds of 15 miles per hour. St. Louis temperatures are slightly lower, experiencing a high of 57 degrees and a slight 10% chance of rain. Around the country, let's start in Massachusetts, where Salem will have a high of only 38 degrees. It also has a 10% chance of rain, but will be mostly sunny throughout the day. New York City will be mostly sunny with a high of 40 degrees and a north wind of 8 miles per hour. Los Angeles will be mostly sunny and have a high around 70 degrees, but there is a 20% chance of rain. Chicago also has a 20% chance of rain, but it won't be nearly so warm, with Thursday bringing a high of just 47 degrees before a weekend's forecast that includes occasionally showers of overcast skies. Internationally, Egypt will have a high of 70 degrees with low temperatures around 61 degrees. Thursday brings isolated thunderstorms to Philippines and a high temperature of 87 degrees. My pick city this afternoon is London, where the temperature will be 43 degrees, and it wouldn't be London without a chance of rain, which tomorrow is a 20% chance. That's all for tomorrow's weather. Back to you, Samantha.
Thank you, Shamel. That's it for this broadcast, so thanks for watching. Be sure to tune in weekly next semester for more from Stevens Life. In the meantime, read the latest news and information at stevens.edu/stevenslife and follow us on Twitter at @Stevens_life. Thanks again to Stevens College and its participating schools, Columbia Access Television, and our viewers. For tonight's broadcast, I'm Samantha Galati.
And I'm Lesta Newberry. Thank you for watching, and good luck on your finals.